From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Alaska Governor Bill Walker has directed 3 state-backed agencies to look for ways they can be more efficient by consolidating services.
State officials said at a news conference today that ultimately this could mean the agencies themselves could consolidate. The Alaska Housing Finance Corporation, Alaska Energy Authority, and Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority have a combined $3.2 billion in net assets and employ about 440 people. Walker says he wants a report of recommendations from the 3 agencies ahead of the next legislative session, adding that lawmakers will have a bill next year if state laws need to be changed to make that happen.
The governor did ask for probably $500,000 to go along with, I think, about $500,000 in agency receipts that they could put together to try to look at organizing these 3 groups and as I said, just to see what benefit it could be to the state, either through reducing the size of government and what benefit we would get out of it. So we're willing to work with the administration on that.
Alaska Native leaders are calling on Alaska Senators Dan Sullivan and Lisa Murkowski to support a fair hearing and a timely vote on the forthcoming nomination to the United States Supreme Court. After the death of Justice Scalia, Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee said they would refuse to hold a hearing on or to even meet with any nominee. Scott Simpson of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights hosted a teleconference today that featured American Indian and Alaska Native leaders. Julie Kitka, president of the Alaska Federation of Natives, said AFN has long supported legal empowerment of their people through the Constitution and the justice system.
Native people have faced centuries of discrimination and threats to our inherent rights to ancestral property, languages, cultural forms of governance, and basic social service. It's time for the President to consider a Native American to serve and be nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court. It is in the country's best interest to have a working political system rather than one of gridlock. AFN urges our congressional delegation to review carefully any nominee and support a fair and timely hearing and vote.
The Fairbanks City Council approved a resolution that supports a law which regulates the production of industrial hemp in the state of Alaska. Ryan Grimes has the story.
I've actually got some hemp lotion myself, so I'm a fan of hemp as well.
Councilmember Bernard Gatewood spoke about more than just hemp lotion, but of industrial hemp, a non-mind-altering portion of the cannabis plant where marijuana is also derived from.
But industrial hemp has been around for a long time, was a staple in the United States for a number of years. As a matter of fact, the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper. The first U.S. flag was made out of hemp.
Gatewood introduced a resolution to the City Council supporting efforts for the Alaska State Legislature to pass the Grown Industrial Hemp Act, which legalizes the cultivation of hemp in the state. Councilmember David Pruse agreed with Gatewood's stance.
This has nothing to do with the hallucinogenic aspect of marijuana. This is industrial. There's no reason why we should change our direction of what we've done in the past. This is consistent with what we've done. Mr. Gatewood, thank you for bringing it up.
In the end, the council voted unanimously for the resolution.
I think it's an economic development option which could be very profitable for those farmers as well as for the state.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
When we come back, a Fairbanks man decided to steal a vehicle and take it for a joyride. Unfortunately, the incident was at the Fairbanks airport.
And in this week's Interiortainment, live storytelling is a lost art, but this week it's brought back to life. Stay with us.
Okay, Mike.
Welcome back. Minutes before the Alaska House took up the state's operating budget, it swore in the state's newest representative. Representative Ivy Sponholtz of Anchorage was appointed by Governor Walker to replace the late Representative Max Grunberg, who died suddenly in February. The newly appointed lawmaker is the Director of Community Relations and Development for Salvation Army Alaska and the Vice Chair of the Alaska Children's Trust, which works to rid the state of childhood abuse and neglect. Sponholtz says she knows she cannot fill the void Grunberg left behind.
Nobody would have wished to for this situation to occur, to be in this position at this point in time. Representative Max Gruenberg was my representative, and I'd known him for a very long time. I certainly can't fill his shoes, and I won't try to, but I'll do my best to uphold my responsibility as the representative for District 16.
A Fairbanks man is accused of stealing a vehicle and driving it around the Fairbanks Airport runway Sunday night. 35-year-old Joshua Roach is charged with first-degree vehicle theft, trespassing, and giving false information to police. Roach unlawfully entered Fairbanks International Airport property and hopped into an FAI vehicle. He was spotted driving down Taxiway Bravo and then towards the east ramp, where airport police apprehended him. The airport's division operations manager, Angie Spear, said there was no damage to the airport or its equipment.
On Sunday evening at approximately 8:40 p.m., we received a report from the tower of a state vehicle crossing the runways and down Taxiway Bravo without communicating with the tower or activating its lights. Airport police and fire responded, and they apprehended the suspect at that time, and he was located at a business on the east side of the airport, on the general aviation side. He was apprehended without incident. There was no damage to any airport property, any aircraft, any tenant businesses, nor any of the state equipment.
Now for this week's That's Interiortainment, we check out how Dark Winter Nights brings back live storytelling. Sarah Dubowski has more in this report.
Live storytelling is an age-old craft that seems to get lost in a world where people stare at screens all day. Dark Winter Nights brings back that tradition. This storytelling event is having a show where Alaskans will be sharing personal stories about things that happened in Alaska. The head of Dark Winter Nights, UAF journalism professor Robert Prince, says it was created out of a frustration with how Alaska is portrayed in reality shows.
The goal of it is to share the real, true stories from Alaska with the world. We started it because we were frustrated with how Alaska is depicted in a lot of reality TV shows. And we thought, if people are really interested in Alaska, why aren't Alaskans sharing those true stories with them? Why don't we share what Alaska is really like? So that's sort of how this thing came to be.
Dark Winter Nights performance is in collaboration with Arctic Science Summit Week. The story theme for this show is all about climate. One storyteller, Erin Trosham, will be talking about how a wedge of ice in the ground affected her and her outhouse.
So I lived in a cabin with an outhouse, like a lot of people do in Fairbanks, and we had always noticed that we'd never pumped our outhouse out, and so we lived in the cabin for about 8 years, which was a little suspicious. But after we had the warmest and wettest summers on record, then the outhouse started tilting on top of it, actually. And so I studied permafrost. And we had permafrost around the cabin, and I was like, you know, I bet that this outhouse might have connected into an ice wedge polygon, actually.
Dark Winter Nights is free and fun for all ages. It starts at 7 p.m. on Friday at Pioneer Park Auditorium. Prince says to go early because these events typically sell out.
The last time we were in Pioneer Park, it filled up and beyond capacity, actually. So I would say if anyone's interested in coming to this event, get there early. Doors will open at 5:30.
That's Interiortainment, brought to you by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
All right, Joe Cook is up next with sports and has mushing news from the Iditarod to the Limited North American Championships.
Plus, UAF hockey gets ready for the playoffs. All that and more
after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Thursday Sportscast. Mushers are moving fast in this year's Iditarod. This afternoon, four-time champion Jeff King was the first musher into Ruby. King checked into Ruby at 1:02 p.m. today. He enjoyed his 5-course gourmet meal. He will take his 24-hour rest. Brent Sass in second place. He went through Cripple, and he is headed to Ruby as well. Dallas CV, he is resting in Cripple in third place. Noah Burmeister and Robert Sorley complete the top 5. Mitch CV and Hugh Neff are 11th and 12th. Now Lance Mackey, he doubled back to Ophir, but there hasn't been any official word as to why. He sits 46 overall after being in the top 10 for much of this race. And there will be mushing in the interior this weekend at the Jeff Studdard Race Ground. Sprint mushers will hit the trails for the Animated Limited North American Championships. There will be 2-dog ski drawer, 4, 6, and 8-dog classes, and a $12,000 purse. Defending champions Greg Zurich, Pam Chambert, Don Brown, and Jerry Woods are back to defend their ski drawer, 4, 6, and 8-dog titles. There will be 2-minute intervals between teams and 30-minute breaks between classes. The LNAC starts Friday at 11 a.m. The Alaska Nanook hockey team will be in the WCHA quarterfinals this weekend. They will face the Michigan Tech Huskies for the 5th time, but it's a showdown they are looking forward to. Fresh off their victorious Gov Cup series, the Alaska Nanooks packed up early this week to go back to Houghton, Michigan. The number 8 Nanooks will face the number 1 Michigan Tech Huskies in Friday's WCHA quarterfinals. UAF will be in familiar territory.
I think it's actually, nice that we were down there 2 weeks ago, and we'll get in, we'll know the routine of the town and know the routine at the rink. We know what the boards are doing. It's a building that we've gone into and won before, and we've also put ourselves in positions to win before. So it's not something that we're not familiar with.
This season, Tech is 4-0 against UAF, but in their last meeting, the Nooks lost 2 close 1-goal games without Tyler Morley. Justin Woods stepped up and scored twice against Tech.
I'm really excited. Our team played really well there, so we just got to keep it going and play our game, and we won't have to worry about anything. Just focus and be ready.
Morley is back after missing 6 games and is coming off a WCHA Player of the Week performance with 4 points against UAA. With the Nanooks nearing full strength, they believe they can pull off the upset.
It's a big rivalry. I think they're a good rivalry for us. I mean, we played them almost 4 times every year in my career here, so now they kind of got us 2 weeks ago, and now to turn around and go back and get them again is going to be pretty cool.
I think we're coming together now, and we know it's gonna be hard, and we know what we got to do. And like I said, we're just gonna come with that momentum like we had this weekend and bring it up to Mich Tech and give the Huskies a run for their money.
Puck drop is at 3:07 p.m. Alaska time on Friday for Game 1 in the best-of-3 game series. Joe Cook reporting. Staying with the hockey team, senior and UAF team captain Tyler Morley was named to the first team All-WCHA today. Despite missing 6 games, he finished 6th in the WCHA in scoring, 28 points in 27 games. His 16 goals were second best in the conference. Also, 15 UAF hockey players also made the WCHA All-Academic team for having GPAs 3.0 or higher. And former Fairbanks Ice Dog Wyatt Eggy made the All-WCHA rookie team. Eggy led all rookie defensemen with 13 points for UAA. Another Alaska team will be chasing championships this weekend. The 5th-ranked UAF rifle team will be seeking their 11th national title at the NCAA championships at the University of Akron. The Nooks are shooting their best at the right time, and their last 2 outings, they've scored over 4,700. They've scored at least 4,700 or more points. They will be led by Sagan, Madalena, Tim Sherry, Soren Butler, Luke Johnson, and JT Schneering. Friday is small bore, and Saturday is air rifle. And for the 3rd straight season, the West Valley Wolfpack girls basketball team has the Player of the Year, and that's historical. Senior forward Ruthie Hebert was named Alaska Gatorade Player of the Year today. She's the first Alaskan player to win the honor 3 years in a row. This season, Hebert is averaging 25.9 points, 14.8 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks per game. Hebert signed early to be an Oregon Duck next year. Competitive basketball action took place today in the first round of the Aurora Conference Tournament. The Hutchinson Hawks hosted the Delta Junction Huskies in a tight first-round game. Delta had a 1-point edge at halftime, 28-27. Hutch was down just 37-39 going to the 4th quarter, but Delta made enough plays late, and they escaped with a 58-52 win in the opening round. The Valdez Buccaneers and Allison Ravens, they opened up the tourney this morning. The Ravens stayed within reach of the Bucks, trailing by 8 with 4:47 left in the game, but the Bucks, they closed out the game with an 11-3 run, and they win 57-41. They will play Monroe in round 2. And these regional games are paramount. The latest winning percentage index, or WPI rankings, were released yesterday. The top 6 are considered for any at-large state tournament berths. In 4A boys, the Wolfpack, they are 7th. The West Valley and Lathrop girls are 5th and 6th. And in 3A boys, Monroe is 2nd and Delta is 5th. The Hutchinson girls are 3rd in the 3A girls ranks. The MAC has 1 automatic berth, and the Aurora Conference has 2 for state. And that's it for sports. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into Thursday night weather. Mike Schultz with you once again, and it wasn't too bad of a day, just overcast clouds for the most part, but temperatures rose up to the low 30s, and we're expecting that to continue into the weekend, and it looks pretty good. No precipitation in the forecast. Even the flurries are out of the picture right now. Speaking of our picture, we'll take a look at that satellite picture and show you what's going on. Again, a steady flow of moisture coming up from the south across the southeastern sections. Otherwise, just a few scattered showers across the very southern sections of the Kenai Peninsula. Some mid-level clouds moving across the interior. A little more cloudiness over the southwest, but nobody really getting any kind of real major weather going on whatsoever. And as far as our numbers are concerned, well, you can see here today's high was 30. The overnight low was 9 degrees last night. The record high 50 in 1992, 41 below in 1930. Your sunrise and sunset about 11 hours and 13 minutes of daylight. And that's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Across the state, it looks like this. Over the southeastern sections, there's cloudy skies at Ketchikan. Some more showers still hanging around the Juneau area. Nice day in Anchorage again, 40 degrees, lots of sunshine. Showers around the Kodiak region. Had a pretty good day around Cold Bay, 40 degrees there. Bethel warming up to 30 degrees and just mainly partly cloudy skies. The same for Nome with 21. And across the North Slope, Barrow looking at 9 degrees below zero, with Fort Yukon at 16 above and partly cloudy skies. Lower 48 weather, more showers moving across the Pacific Northwest and starting to work their way down across Southern California. You can see the flow is starting to come right off the Pacific Ocean into California. Some more rain expected there, but nothing on the scale that they've been receiving across the deep south. Holy mackerel. 18 inches of rain in some parts of Louisiana. The good news, it looks like it's starting to slowly work its way to the east and move out of the picture, but boy, what a mess that has been, and just incredible. You'll see a lot more of that on the NBC Nightly News coming up next with all the tragedy that's associated with that storm system. Now on the west coast, getting ready for a pretty good storm to move in. It'll be bringing with it the localized flooding, high elevation snows, and even blowing dusts out in the desert, and even thunderstorms around the Los Angeles area. And the new jet stream map is once again showing not much change. Again, westerly to easterly flow across much of the northern half of the lower 48. The flood risk continues across the deep south, and of course rain moving across the Pacific Northwest. All right, time once again for our kids' weather, and all this week we've been talking with the kids from Arctic Light Elementary School, but it's a Thursday night, so it's time to hear what the teacher has to say.
Hello, I am Miss Roth, and this here is my 4th grade class at Arctic Light Elementary School, and we have a weather fact to share with you. Class, did you know that the most rainfall in 1 hour happened in Holt, Missouri, when a downpour dropped more than 12 inches of rain in 1 hour period on June 12th, 1947. Wow.
As always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And next week, we'll be visiting with the kids from Northern Lights Academy. Here's your forecast across the northern sections tomorrow. Flurries and blowing snow for the Barrow area. Sunny skies expected in Nome, and snow showers at Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, not too bad. In fact, partly cloudy skies from Fairbanks to Delta Junction. Just some light breezes in the Healy area. Over the southeastern sections, well, it looks like partly cloudy skies for Juneau, but scattered afternoon showers in Ketchikan. While over to the southwest part of the state, we're looking at rain and snow showers at Cold Bay, some rain showers in Bethel, and rainy conditions at Kodiak. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, it looks like mostly cloudy skies at Anchorage, isolated showers for Homer, and snow showers in the Valdez area. It is a Thursday night, which means it's time for our road conditions, brought to you by the good folks at Jose Body and Paint and Mongold Insurance on Dalton Elliott highways. Icy patches, melting snow, and snow on the roadway, so not too bad for the most part. The same for the Stetson Richardson Highway, snow on the roads and some plowed snow and some icy patches. Just use your head and just drive safely and drive carefully. On the Parks Highway, dry surface, and also some maintenance equipment that's on the roadway in some of the areas trying to keep things cleared up. Okay, our forecast for tonight looks like this. Partly cloudy skies, continue very mild, 6 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, another day like today. Scattered clouds and almost 30 degrees, and the extended forecast through the weekend, looking at temperatures still in the upper 20s, but then trying to cool down a little bit by Monday and then warm back up again by the latter part of the 5-day period. Overnight lows will also be very comfortable, 5 to 10 degrees with 0 degrees for the overnight low. And as far as our photograph is concerned, the sky is on fire, according to Cynthia Walker. She sent this picture in. Another beautiful shot. And as always, photos at KTVF11.com if you have a photo that you want to share with us.
All right, thanks, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on ABC Nightly News, the death toll is rising as historic flooding hits parts of the South. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have an amazing night.
Good night.